out, I'm sure.
Well, if they don't, they'll be in big trouble against a team like Ashland tonight.
That's right. So we're looking forward here to the men's basketball game. The women had a successful start for the evening as they were able to come out on top of Ashland and got their conference record up to about 6-1. So the men are hoping to be able to do exactly the same thing.
The Lady Dons playing extremely well, and we hope we can see the same things from the Dons tonight. Get back on track from that disappointing loss of a week ago against Kentucky State.
Yeah, they don't want to dwell on that one for long because it's behind them, and it won't hurt them if they don't lose another game. I told Andy Piazza tonight, don't lose another game, and last Saturday night won't mean a thing.
Exactly. And again tonight, time for Clarence Rich to start another streak. Didn't get the three-pointer on Thursday night. Tonight, let's get him back on track and the rest of the Dons and get them going back into the thick of things in this conference and get them ready for the tournament, actually.
And for Rich, really the pressure should be off now because he's an excellent three-point shooter. He can relax and start that new streak, like you say.
Exactly. 31 games, a great run for him, great run for the team, and now, again, big game against Ashland tonight. Let's go out and have a great game.
Looks like it ought to be a good one, and we're got a pretty good house here tonight, considering the weather being as bad as it is, and the fraternity bunch is here to whoop it up and have a good time. So between them and the band, this ought to be a noisy old barn tonight.
You betcha, Dave.
The man, and dog.
For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
There are many causes for hearing loss. It can appear gradually over the years. It's embarrassing to ask someone to repeat comments, and it's tempting to accuse others when directions are not clearly understood. If you suspect a hearing loss, see a qualified audiologist for consultation and testing. Help is available. Speech is worth hearing. For further information, contact the speech-language hearing professional in your area or the Indiana Speech-Language Hearing Association.
And again, welcome back to the IPFW Athletic Center. We're about 30 seconds, Charlie, away from the start time for this important men's basketball game, GLVC Conference lead at stake.
Well, Dave, big game again. This is probably the biggest game. Each game is the biggest game of the year for the Dons, and a big game in the sense that the Dons are playing the first place team in the conference in the Ashland Eagles. Parity in the conference is the big thing this year from a few years ago. You don't have teams that stand out like Kentucky Wesleyan has done for the last few years. A lot of parity with the Dons, Ashland, Wesleyan, Bellarmine. So there's no team that will run away from it. Each team can be beat, especially at home.
And the toughest road trip in the conference has become IPFW and Ashland. So here they get a chance to square up. But we have a special opportunity right now, Charlie. Young lady, and maybe we can go down to the floor PA system and pick up the award. But the award really is for Lisa Miller. Last Thursday night, she passed the 2,000-point mark for her career at IPFW. Just an outstanding performance.
And it's great to see her teammates out on the floor to share this, and her parents, as you see on the screen here, sharing this great moment with Lisa. Great basketball player.
And Shelly Sands, her teammates, bringing her out a further award, probably a rose or two. Outstanding career with several games yet to go. We haven't heard the last yet from that young lady.
She has some more rewriting of the books to go, Dave. I guarantee you.
And maybe that'll be a little inspiration for this second game here tonight, too, because we need this one equally bad. And the starting lineups are about to be introduced now as we join the PA system.
Basketball. Tonight's contest features the 11-3 visiting Ashland Eagles against your own 11-3 IPFW Mastodons. First, the starting lineups for Ashland. At one guard, a 5'8" senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 14, RICARDO Hill. At the other guard, a 6'2" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 20, Bernard McGuire. At one forward, a 6'4" senior from Stowe, Ohio, number 32, Brian Ricchetto. At the other forward, a 6'5" senior from Spartansburg, South Carolina, number 54, Michael Young. And in the middle for the Eagles, a 6'5" junior from Cleveland, Ohio, number 22, Jeffrey Little. The Eagles are coached by Terry Wigand in his first season. And now, your IPFW Mastodons. At one guard, he's a 5'8" junior from Saginaw, Michigan, number 10, Andre Walton. At the other guard, he's a 6'1" senior from Detroit, Michigan, number 33, Clarence Rich. At one forward, he's a 6'2" sharpshooter senior from Grant, Michigan, number 23, DUANE SHEARS. In the middle for the Mastodons, he's a 6'8", 225 junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Dandy Doug Rinke. And at the other forward, rounding out the starting lineup for the Mastodons, a 6'7" junior from Lanesville, Indiana, number 41, Sean Gibson. Head coach of the Mastodons is Andy Piazza in his 5th season, and the assistant coach in his first season is Mr. Dick Dumanian. And now, would you please rise and join in singing as our own IPFW pep band plays our national anthem.
We've had the national anthem, we've had a special awards, now it's time to get down to the real thing and get this action started.
And tonight is the real thing, Dave. Two teams that have been ranked in the top 20 this year. Ashland is still there, I do believe. Good athletes on this team. Last year, one of the best scorers in the GLVC in McGuire, one of the better point guards in the GLVC in Hill, and one of the best athletes in the GLVC in Little. Another Little.
Another one of those guys, yeah. That Little is the name, but when you look at the frame, you get a little bit different perspective.
But this Little is littler than the Little
the one we saw last
State.
week. And we ought to point out that last year when the Screaming Eagles from Ashland came over here, they were the #1 team in the country. You talk about top rankings. And the IPFW Mastodons were able that particular night to play as fine a ball game as they played all year long and actually defeated the Ashland Eagles. So we're ready for tip-off.
In the span of a week, knocked off Ashland and Bellarmine last year, two of the biggest wins for the Dons all season.
IPFW in control of the opening tap and quickly down floor. Ashland opening with a man-for-man defense, ball thrown away. Turnovers just could very well be a critical part of this ball game tonight, Charlie, because they're so equally balanced, the two teams, that the fewer the turnovers, the better.
Exactly. Usually, Dave, that's the turning point of any basketball game, the turnovers, whether a team at least gets a shot at the basket.
First attempt by Ashland, no good, as number 32, Brian Ricciardo. But they got the offensive board, and they're back to set up their offense again. Pressure defense by the Mastodons tonight. Again, they're opening in what appears to be a man-for-man defense. Sean Gibson will open way down court to begin with. Errant pass. And again, the Mastodons are going to have to pick up their intensity level just a bit. But a turnover by the Ashland Eagles. Both teams a little tight.
Not so bad of a pass by Clarence Rich last time down. Again, I've stated about Doug Ranke many times before. He has to get down and get his body ready to play the game of basketball. And he should have had that pass and come up and done something good with it.
Wasn't expecting it to come his way. And everybody's got to be alert tonight. Got to be expecting it to come your way every time down. Andre Walton setting up. Long three-pointer by Sean Gibson. Up and no good. Ashland with the rebound, and here they come. Quickly down the floor. Sean Gibson, good defense that time. Battled Michael Young for the ball.
Last time down, Sean rushed his shot just a little bit. He probably was too open and had too much time and ended up rushing the shot. He can nail that shot from there.
Yes, he can. He doesn't take a lot of three-pointers, but he's not bad. Good defense that time to knock it loose, but not quite ready to pick it up.
Again, Doug Ranke has to get his body ready to play the game. That's 2 times this game already in the opening minutes.
Nice block shot by Clarence Rich. IPFW on the attack. Half-court offense set up with Clarence Rich out front. Over to DUANE Shear.
Both teams getting over the opening minute jitters right now. No score in the basketball game, almost 2 minutes gone.
And both teams play sticky defense. These teams are averaging a lot of steals for the season. Ashland picks off about 16 steals a game, and IPFW 13.
2 players in the top 10, Mr. Rich and Mr. Vaughn.
Bounce inside to Ranke. Errant pass again. Maybe not quite ready for that.
Again, yes.
And a block shot. Foul is called this time on DUANE Shear as number 54, Michael Young, picked off the offensive rebound, tried to put it back up, and was fouled by DUANE Shear.
Good foul in the sense that they don't allow the player to get the ball up on the glass to attempt a three-point play, Dave.
First free throw is good by Michael Young, 6'5" senior out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. We see the play developing again down court as Michael Young cashed in on the second free throw also.
First 2 points of the game.
So we played just over 2 minutes of action here, and it's a 2-0 score in favor of the Ashland Eagles.
Again, Dave, you stated these teams very similar. It looks like Ashland's running that same full court press that the Dons use.
Yep, and there we see a nice pass from Sean Gibson, and Doug Ranke left no doubt at all about that one going down.
Now there he was. He was ready to play on that, Dave. That's what he has to do.
Yep.
Catch that ball, drop step, boom.
And on the pressure defense, a foul was called on Andre Walton. His first.
The big guy threw it down with some authority and some.
On the attack, number 14, Ricardo Hill. And there's the kind of breakdown on the defense that can be big trouble if it can persist through the course of the night.
Well, when you play pressure defense, Dave, you're going to give up some buckets, but if you're going to foul the guy right there, you have to foul him and make sure he doesn't get the ball up on the glass.
The interesting thing was I think Clarence tried to do exactly that, and the man took the ball to the hoop anyway.
And then you had Big Doug Ranke following up and still could not block the shot.
Bernard McGuire at the line. Missed the free throw. IPFW on the attack. Andre Walton deep in the corner. Back out to Dwayne Shears. And there's something about the passing game tonight that just doesn't quite have the intensity that needs to be there. As the three-point attempt by number 32, Brian Rashetta, goes up and over the backboard. So it's a violation, and IPFW on the attack again. Here comes Dwayne Shear. And Doug Ranke that time didn't quite get it to fall for him. I think he was looking to see if he had enough room to jam it down and didn't.
Yeah, sometimes once you get one jam, you might think about in your mind you want to jam everything that comes your way.
So Doug will step to the line for 2 free throws. Here we see the replay. Doug shooting 2.
What could be happening to the Dons in the passing game, and there's really no way of knowing. They've played 2 lesser opponents, Dave, in the last week or so. And sometimes you play a lesser opponent and you haven't had to work as hard with your passes. You may have been able to pass through and over these lesser opponents. When you get back into real conference play, as the Dons are tonight, they may not be respecting the defense enough because they've had it easy these last 2 games. But there's really no way to know that for sure.
And it's a tougher assignment all the way around. Well, Doug Ranke cases in on both free throws, so we've got a 4-4 ball game. Ashland's a team that likes to put up a three-pointer, and they miss on the layup drive that time by number 20, Bernard McGuire.
He's a scorer.
Clarence Rich puts up his three-point attempt, and it's no good. Ashland on the attack. Fast ball game. It's going to be up and down tonight. And you see that the turnover by the Ashland Eagles. And I would think, although I haven't been keeping track, the turnovers probably are fairly even at this point.
Yeah, I think this game will be decided in the last moments and probably by a big turnover.
Ball inbounds, coming down now to Clarence Rich. Quickly down by the Mastodons. Maybe overpassing. Dwayne Shear had a nice short jumper. Maybe he should have put it up. But Doug Ranke drew the foul again. It's an on-the-floor foul, so will not be shooting.
Shear is probably the best pure shooter on the Mastodon team. Probably could have pulled up with a little 6 or 8 foot jumper right there.
Dwayne Shears inbounding the ball to Sean Gibson. Here, Shears gets the ball from the nice pick by Sean. Now we move to the right side of the floor. Clarence Rich working over there.
Great matchup from the point guard slot tonight. Hill against Wall, 2'5'8" jitterbugs, quick.
There you see that shot by Dwayne Shears, and it was a good shot, just a little bit strong.
Hill also had some great battles in past years with another 5'8" jitterbug that the Dons had.
Yes, they did.
Mr. Jordan.
Some new faces in the Ashland lineup, but there's that long three-point attempt by IPFW. That looked like an Eric Vaughn shot. Nice feed by Clarence Rich inside to Doug Ranke, but Doug couldn't get it to fall down on that glass.
It's obvious, Dave, one of the game plans of the Dons, as we see a travel there by number 30. One of the big plans for the Dons is to get Doug Ranke in this game early and to get him some shots early in the game to get him going.
We have a substitution for the Mastodons now. Pat Murphy in for Doug Ranke. Pat may have a little better luck with that inside shot than Doug does, maybe. So if they keep getting the same opportunities, this could be a good move.
Yeah,
Doug can hit it.
Pat's a little more aggressive and usually will come away with at least a foul out of a situation like that.
Nice fake by Clarence Rich, and he goes up. Sean Gibson with 2 offensive rebounds. And on the second shot attempt, he's tied up for a jump ball. Alternate possession goes to Ashland. We see Eric Vaughn about to enter the lineup for the Mastodons. They're getting some pretty good shots, Charlie, but they can't get any to fall at the moment. Neither can Ashland. We have a 4-4 tie, and have played almost 15 minutes. Two teams that are used to averaging somewhere in the 80s on their point production. Ashland even 97 or 8.
Very slow. Not the game's not slow, but the scoring, the buckets are slow.
Yeah. And we see the follow-up shot by number 24, Chris Royer.
Both teams getting some good looks at the basket.
We have an unusual call here, and I'm not sure what it is. The shot was taken by Eric Vaughn and scored. Basket is good. I think maybe, Charlie, and it's just a guess, inadvertent whistle by the official?
I think so.
It's what it has to be, an inadvertent whistle.
Actually, it looked like Eric traveled before he even got the play off. When he caught the ball, I think he took 2 steps, and then sometimes a player is called on that play the fake and the layup. Sometimes you call the travel.
The thing for sure is it's just under 15 minutes to play here in the first half, and it's a 6-6 tie. Ashland Eagles, IPFW Mastodons. Super matchup here tonight at the IPFW Athletic Center. Chris Royer tried the baseline pass to Gary Watkins, and it was broken up by the Mastodons.
Let's see if the Dons are in a man-to-man, Dave. Sometimes they play a matchup that is disguised as a man-to-man, and sometimes will confuse the teams, and which is actually what it's designed to do.
Right now, it would look like maybe it's a.
I would think it would. I think it may be that matchup because we saw Sean Gibson outside on a much shorter player.
That long pass tipped out of bounds by the Eagles. The IPFW basketball. Baseline at their own end of the court. Eric Vaughn will inbound the ball. Back into the lineup comes number 54, Michael Young. And Eric from the deep corner, corner. And he hits the 3.
Instant offense, Mr. Vaughn.
That's his first shot of the attempt of the night, and if that's any indication of what we have coming. Good hustle, good hustle. 3 guys from the Mastodons that time, and Jeff Smithy says, "Get me the ball, I want a 3," and he gets another one.
That play was caused by Kevin Shank's hustle, Dave. That's his forte. Get on the floor for loose balls, play some defense, get some rebounds.
Kevin was after it again that time, and just got a little bit of a piece of the Ashland ball player, so that we see some substitutions now coming in for Ashland. They're trying to keep people fresh in there tonight, Charles, faster than IPFW.
And that's unusual.
And that's fast.
But with this pace that they're going, now again, not many points, as we just seen 2 3-pointers, which has jumped that score to 12 for the Dons, but actually a very slow scoring game, not pace, just scoring.
And Ashland is a dangerous team on that 3-point attempt themselves, so look out, it could happen. Nice offensive rebound by Kevin Shank. Jeff Smithy, same spot, same result. He gets the 3.
That's the difference, Dave, between a Jeff Smithy and an Andre Walton. Walton the much quicker player, but Smithy the much better shooter.
And Walton won't take that outside 3. We have a foul call this time. We'll see who it's on. A lot of action underneath the basket. Pat Murphy drew his first foul. It's their team 4th. 5th, I guess.
Pat Murphy usually gets his money's worth out of mileage out of his 5 fouls.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't get cheated on them. And Sean Gibson getting his first rest of the night. Mark Allen into the ball game.
Mark's been playing very good basketball as of late.
Sean Carlton in the ball game for the Eagles at the moment, playing inside. 6'5", 230. He takes up a lot of space. And there we see an excellent drive to the basket by Bernard McGuire.
Great scorer, this guy. One of the top scorers in the GLVC last year. And just on that drive, you can understand why he was.
And there we see Pat Murphy getting a timeout. The Mastodons were going to have difficulty getting that ball inbounds. So we have an IPFW timeout with 12:52 left on the clock here in the first half. IPFW in the lead, 15-8. The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecasts. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to the following: College Cable Access Center at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, zip code 46805-1499, or call us at 481-6582. Well, it's been a very fast-paced game, Charlie, so far, as we expected. Both teams full court press after they score. Both teams put up the three-point shot when it's there, and play the hard defense.
And this Ashland team, probably one of the more balanced teams that you'll see. All 5 starters, Dave, averaging double figures.
And 4 of the 5 starters for the Eagles are in the top 10 in the conference in steals per game. All 4 of them averaging more than 2 a game.
All that translates in, Dave, we're going to have a very good basketball game, as you can see thus far.
IPFW was pushed to the out-of-bounds line and lost the ball, so Ashland back on the attack. Ooh, we see a lot of movement in there. Couldn't be much any other call. Number 44 is a big man, Sean Carlton, 6'5", 230, a junior out of Columbus, Ohio.
And he's every bit of that 230. Great defensive position that time by Sean Gibson, though.
Rumor has it that Sean Carlton used to be a starting defensive tackle for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I believe it.
He's big enough. Inbound. A lot of good pressure by the Eagles. A lot of pressure. Over to Eric Vaughn. Back to Kevin Shank. Kevin drives. No good. Had to force one up. He got into no man's land. Stop for the 3, and that will happen, although he must have been on the line. Ricardo Hill on the line for a 2-pointer. The defense forced Kevin into a travel that time.
Again, Kevin Shank, the last 2 times, Dave, has gotten caught out of things which are not his forte. As a basketball player, a role player such as Kevin, you have to make sure that you magnify your strengths and minify your weaknesses. So he has to get that ball to one of the better ball handlers on the team. There are 2 good ball handlers on the squad now.
And there you see just a fantastic move to the basket and a score by Ricardo Hill.
Hill starting to assert himself right now.
IPFW needs, oh, there we see a long-range 3-pointer. Nice offensive rebound. And a pass inside. That might be good for 3. Excellent pass from Jeff Smith. He saw Sean Gibson all alone under the basket. Sean puts it in and is fouled by number 54, Michael Young.
That's a great play by Smithy.
Excellent ball movement that time by the Mastodons.
As good a shooter as he is, he commands respect on that. And as the defensive players came out to guard him, he made a great decision to pass the ball to Sean Gibson. Again, Smithy a great shooter, but I put my money on Gibson from 2 feet as opposed to Smithy from 15.
You're right. Sean at the line. Free throw is good.
The conventional 3-pointer, the old-fashioned 3-pointer.
That's right. Earn it.
Again, the Dons showing the same type of pressure that the Ashland Eagles are showing. They're fighting fire with fire.
The defense caused the tie-up, and on the alternate possession, the Mastodons will get the ball.
This is just like in baseball, Dave. Power hitter, power pitcher, heat on heat.
Well, you mentioned a while ago, this could be the kind of game that comes down to the last possession. Nice move inside, and a tip it up and in by Sean Gibson. Offensive boards are paying off for the Mastodons right now.
Sean, the always reliable, always ever active.
Boy, there was some action down the... Oh, pinned against the board, pinned against the board.
Big time athletic move that time by McGuire.
Another pretty good move right there. I don't think they'll pin this one against the board. Layup by Eric Vaughn. And we have a timeout by the Ashland Eagles as the IPFW Mastodons have just put on a spurt that has earned them a 22-12 lead.
And it's also starting to heat up in this Mastodome, Dave.
Nice crowd here tonight, Charlie, in spite of the wintry weather that we're having, and it certainly is that.
We'll be right back for more GLVC basketball action right after these quick messages.
Shooting up AIDS.
A lot of my friends have already retired. But I wasn't ready for that. So I'm still teaching. This time in Belize, Central America. I decided to join the Peace Corps. I love my kids. And the way I figure it, I have the rest of my life to play cards.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Well, the crowd hooping it up here at the IPFW Athletic Center, Charlie, as they're seeing just a fantastic basketball game. Lots of action. Certainly can't be anyone here saying this is boring.
This fraternity, I don't know exactly their name. This fraternity out here is taking on the role of charging the crowd as we see them on the screen. These guys are loving it.
And it's a pleasure to see down at the scorer's table, although he's not having to work tonight, Mr. Hilliard Gates from Channel 33, long time sportscaster and friend of IPFW that we'll mention a little bit later, is involved with a campaign for the Mastodons and the athletic scholarships here at IPFW. Oh, a great pass inside from Eric Vaughn to Mark Allen.
Great pass by Eric that time.
Fortunately for Mark, he was watching.
But if you play with Eric, you better be watching.
And there you see the Eagles come right back with a nice short jumper by number 30, Gary Watkins. Another feed inside. That time, Mark couldn't get it to fall.
A little bit too easy for him that time.
And a quick jumper from the side by Brian Ricciotto.
Good pressure by the Eagles. Good breakage of that pressure.
Whoa! You talk about a takedown. And it was purely unintentional, but it was a takedown.
That was the play for tomorrow, the Super Bowl. Clearly passer interference.
That's right. The Redskins and the Bills won't execute that tackle any better tomorrow.
Great leg tackle from behind.
And that was Jeffrey Little that drew the foul. IPFW half-court offense. Setting up, looking. Eric Vaughn in the deep corner. Eric with a very rare jump shot.
And a very rare bad shot for him.
Well, that's true. Now the IPFW has the numbers.
That time of the great matchup, Andre Walton proved to be just a tad quicker than Ricardo Hill that time.
First foul on Ricardo. Clarence Rich back into the lineup. Replaces Eric Vaughn.
As you see the replay, fire against fire.
Might have been a good time for Andre to go ahead and put the ball up. Nice move inside by Dwayne Shear. He got the man on the hip and knew he could hit that one.
Not used to seeing DUANE with his back to the basket, but he looked pretty comfortable there.
The Eagles are looking for that three-point shot now, Charlie, a lot. First time down, give them daylight, up it goes.
And I'm sure they'll trade 3 for 2 any day. We have to get some pressure on that.
Well, you can live or die by it. Another short jumper by DUANE SHEARS. DUANE wanted a foul call on that. Don't believe the officials were watching quite that closely.
Again, another aspect of DUANE SHEARS' game that we're not used to seeing, the fake and the dribble, not the stationary jump shot. DUANE playing very well, showing some aggressiveness.
And a blocked shot by Shane Gibson. Perfect timing that time.
Great
Number
action.
30, Gary Watkins, thought he had an easy one. And Andre couldn't get the ball to fall for him. Quickness actually turned out to be a detriment for the Eagles that time.
And also an Ashland player not looking for the pass off of the fast break. Actually a great pass by RICARDO Hill, but his player not expecting it.
IPFW on the attack. Nice spin move by Sean Gibson inside. 30-21 at the 7:45 mark of the first half. IPFW in the lead. Nice defense.
Great hands by Clarence Rich, one of the GLVC leader in steals.
Good decision by DUANE SHEARS that time. He could have put up a three, but there was absolutely no other white shirt in this end of the gym. Now there is. He puts it up, and it's a little short.
I still like his jump shot. He has a great looking shot, Dave.
24 likes to put it up.
He hurt the Dons last year, I remember.
Chris Royer,
yes.
Yeah, got the hot hand. 7 minutes to play in the first half. IPFW, Ashland University, GLVC basketball. Nice feed inside, but RICARDO Hill got caught to where he couldn't get out of the way.
And that's 2-1 Hill and 2-1 Little. So the Ashland coach has to make some decisions right now. If the Dons get 3 fouls on Hill, that takes away a lot of their quickness and their quarterback, a veteran point guard, which if a veteran point guard is not in the game, that takes a lot away from a team.
It'll change the speed of their game considerably, and RICARDO comes out for a rest.
But with the game being 9 points right now, if you're the Ashland coach, you have a big decision. Do you keep him out for the rest of the half, which is close to 7 minutes? Or do you put him back in and not take the risk of this lead getting well into double figures?
It may depend a great deal on what happens in the next 3 or 4 minutes of action here as we watch the up and down play. Sean Gibson hits the first free throw and now is ready for number 2.
Shot on a shooting binge as of late, shooting close to well into the 80% of the last games. Like 26 out of his last 30 shots have gone through the bucket.
IPFW in the lead, 32-21. Good hustle by Pat Murphy that time. He couldn't quite come up with the ball, but he changed the pattern of play just a little bit. There's another pretty quick man in the lineup right now. Number 10, Jerry Coleman, 5'8", 175 senior from Richmond, Indiana. And he got the spin move to the basket that time very, very quickly. And Clarence Rich, as he drove across the lane, has drawn a foul. Got hacked across the arm, I think, by Jerry Coleman.
If I'm not mistaken, Dave, this Coleman played with on the state championship team at Richmond with Woody Austin a few years back.
I think that's probably right. Being a senior and Woody would be about the same age.
Yeah, I think he was the point guard on their championship team, Woody's junior year, I believe.
First free throw is good by Clarence Rich. The hard-working, always hustling number 33 eyes it for number 2. And it's good. Ashland doesn't look real comfortable with handling that press. On the other hand, they aren't giving it up so much there. The battle of the bodies inside looks like it will draw a foul on Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy, 6'6", 215, and Sean Carlton, 6'5" and 230.
Just got a message from a former player. Darren Carter wants to say hi to Craig Lake back at home, another former player. The action's getting a little bit too hot right now, Davis. We see big Michael Young wanting a little piece of Clarence Rich right now.
And Michael was on top, so I don't know what he has to complain about.
Clarence is tough, but I don't know if he wants any piece of this big number 44 from Ashland.
You'll see the replay here with lots of action on the floor.
Actually, it started just out of good hustle. But if I had 230 pounds resting on top of me, I don't think I'd want him there either, Dave.
Oh, no. Yeah, move it over, buddy. Good hustle. Pat Murphy tips the ball out that time, keeping it away from Michael Young. Ashland with a pretty hefty lineup in there right now with 44, 54, and 32, all fellows that are no 200 pounds or more.
They're definitely looking back at 200 pounds.
Long three-pointer by Jerry Coleman.
Strange call there.
Interesting call. Don't know.
Only thing I could think of, Dave, is Doug, he had to have dipped the shoulder.
And he must be wanting to discourage the big body contact underneath.
Yeah, sometimes a referee will do that in an attempt to catch, to get in charge of the game. And if an offensive player does initiate the contact with the dipped shoulder, referees generally do call that an offensive foul.
Especially if the contact is made with the upper body.
2 quick fouls on Doug Rankin.
44 against 44. So we'll get an opportunity to see how well Sean Carlton shoots the free throws. He'll be at the line for 2. John Honstrider and Sean Gibson getting ready to check in the IPFW lineup.
You made a great point earlier, Dave, and I think it's a difference in this basketball game right now. I think the Mastodons are controlling or handling that pressure from Ashland a little better than the Ashland Eagles are handling the Dons full court pressure.
So far, it would appear that way. First free throw is good by Sean Carlton. We have a 34-27 count with 5 minutes and 16 seconds left here in the first half. Second free throw also good. Inbound pass to Eric Vaughn, back to Sean Gibson. Trap is there. Andre Walton breaks it across by himself. And nice pass under to John Honstrider. And John got the ball high up on the glass.
That's a great play, Dave, to break the press. Give the ball to Andre Walton and let him jitterbug through those Ashland defenders and pass off to John Honstrider. Just how I'm sure Coach Andy Piazza threw it up.
Well, that was one of those exchanges, I think, offensively, where Ashland got lucky. A ball was knocked loose by the defense, but it happened to go right to the man in the purple shirt. He goes up and is fouled.
Good defense by the Dons.
Yeah, they did. And it's too bad when you play good defense like that the offense gets a chance to score, but we'll see what number 22 Jeffrey Little can do with it. Ashland, a very good shooting team, 67% as a team. Typical night, they will come out there and hit 15 free throws.
Little, a junior out of Cleveland, Ohio, one of the best athletes in the conference.
And he had perfect on both free throws. Eric Vaughn brings the ball across this time. Maybe there's the advantage, and it's an advantage when Eric Vaughn can go all the way and lay it in.
Again, the Dons not having much trouble against these probably quicker Ashland players. Man for man, they probably are the quicker team.
And there they broke the press easily, quickly.
In easy fashion, as you stated.
Andre almost outrun the ball that time as Clarence puts one up. Clarence been watching Eric shoot that three-pointer, and he's back on track.
Looks like a contest to see who can shoot from the farthest distance on the court, and the streak has begun. One game for Clarence Rich.
There we see another case where the defense had played great. The ball bounces to purple. Won't always do that, so we'll see how it goes. But back to the line will be number 44, Sean Carlton.
And Dave, and that's how Eric Vaughn gets most of his fouls, just like what we just see on the replay there, reaching in. Most of his fouls come from reaching in. And he has to watch that actually, because we're going to need him in some big games.
You're right. It almost looked like on that replay that Sean Carlton had cleared the lane of Sean Gibson with a forearm.
But when you're that big, it's not that hard to clear the lane.
That's right. His first free throw is good. Sean Carlton to the line for number 2. He misses number 2, and Gibson comes off with the rebound.
The chairman of the board closing in on the career mark by a guy that I played with, Jim Moreland, closing in on his record. Another strange call, Dave. I don't understand this call. An offensive foul against Andre Walton that time. I don't know where that call came from. Obviously, I missed it as we see the replay here.
Oh, my. I guess you say benefit of the doubt, but I'm not sure about that one either.
Not very much contact there, and the contact was incidental. Did not have very much to do with the outcome of that play.
Pretty good acting job, I guess, really.
Yeah, Little's a seasoned veteran, a junior out of Cleveland, Ohio. And veterans will do that sometimes, and they get the benefit of the call by the referees.
You'd almost think, though, that if you were 6'5", it would be embarrassing to think you could be knocked down by a guy 5'8".
Especially in the fashion that Little fell down.
But he hits both free throws, and they are hitting the free throws very well tonight. 41-35, the count at 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half. Jeff Smithy with the ball inside to Sean Gibson.
Good defense that time. Could have been a foul that time.
Yeah, I've seen fouls called on a lot less contact. Clarence Rich out to Jeff Smithy. Skip pass over to Dwayne Shear. Dwayne with the ball inside. And he was hacked by number 30, Gary Watkins. That will be a 2-shot free throw attempt because it's the, no, I'm sorry, it's only the 9th foul against Ashland.
Sean Gibson's trying to get 2 out of it anyway, said he was shooting.
Just hit the first one, Sean, and it'll be a 2-shot foul.
And you're alluding, Dave, to a new rule that was incorporated last year after the 10th foul, in an attempt to alleviate all the fouling. For you viewers who may not know this, after your 10th foul, each foul after that results in 2 shots. After your 9th foul, actually. Each foul after that will result in 2 free throws as opposed to the old 1-and-1 method.
Well, Sean made them both, so in this particular case, it didn't matter. Pressure defense again, still by the Mastodons, but quickly down the court that time, Mr. Hill, but he had to come back out, pull it out to see if there wasn't something that they can set up now on the offense. And that has to be a tough call because the offensive man initiated the contact, and almost ensured that the contact had to be made.
And Dave, that's just as great a matchup, Rich versus McGuire, as Hill versus Walton is. Great quickness, great score against a great defender.
And Bernard McGuire seems to be a little frustrated here tonight, maybe. First free throw is good. They've hit a long streak. Second free throw about to be attempted by Bernard McGuire, and he hits. Clarence Critch across the timeline. Over to Jeff Smithy, back to Clarence. Clarence for one of his patented threes. It was in and out. And up over the for the rebound was Sean Carlton.
Exactly, up
McGuire,
and over the back.
Yeah, Clarence Rich out of the pack with the offensive or the defensive board. Clarence from the other side of the floor this time, and again, half the way down, and John Honstrader on the offensive board puts it back in.
Honstrader with the brush and the broom, cleaning up the garbage.
Clarence's last 2 3-pointers, I don't think you can have a shot any farther down in and have it pop out than those are.
You should at least get 1 point for each one of those.
Yes, right.
Sean Gibson playing very well here, Dave, in this first half as he goes to the line to attempt another 3-point play.
Strong ball game, and we saw that out of him Thursday night too, Charlie, where he'd been struggling a little bit offensively for the last couple of weeks, but hey, he looks like he's out of it now.
11 for 13, he's out of it.
And the free throw is perfect, and we're back to a 48-37 count. IPFW in the lead. Ashland Eagles firing up the threes, and they can reduce that in a hurry, but they miss. Rebound to John Honstrader. 2 minutes to play. First half, GLVC action.
I think the Dons got a break there. I think Jeff Smith, he double dribbled. The Dons caught a break.
Not only a break on that, but the ball handling was getting very, very tenuous. Mastodons moving the ball around well. Nice move inside by Sean Gibson.
Sean Gibson making a strong play to be standing down there and being a post-game interview as our Dandy Down player of the game.
Well, there's the foul you said, Charlie, that you ought to get. If you're going to get a foul, John knew he was, and he didn't permit the shot to go close to the basket.
Honstrader and Murphy probably the best on the team at that. If you have to foul someone, get your money's worth. Make sure they don't get the ball up on the glass.
And number 30 will go to the line, Gary Watkins, a 6'3" senior. First free throw is good. It's been a long time since I remember them missing one.
They have shot well. Good free throw shooting team. Good all-around team in most facets of the game.
Interestingly enough, they're on the road, though, and it's free throws that's keeping them within striking distance.
That'll do it.
And a little careless on the ball handling again. Minute 16 seconds to go here in the first half. 50-39 the count. IPFW on top.
It's very important, Dave, for the Dons to go into the locker room with at least a 10-point advantage. And on the other hand, it's very important for the psyche of the Ashland Eagles to go into the locker room with the single-digit advantage for the Dons.
Short jumper by the Ashland Eagles, and back they come.
Watkins has played well off the bench, as he did last year.
Dwayne Shears having considerable difficulty handling the ball. And he's called for the offensive foul.
That could have been a foul on Watkins because he had good position, but he reached for the ball. And if you're going to stand there and take the charge, you need to take the charge. As we see the replay, Watkins, maybe you didn't see on the replay there, but he reached in, and that sometimes could result in a foul. But this time came out on the as a break for the Ashland Eagles.
That's one of those where you have to wait until you hear the whistle, and you know something's been called. Now, which way?
Yeah, too much contact for nothing.
Perfect at the line. Number 30, Gary Watson, keeping his club close and creeping even closer. IPFW might be well advised to bring the ball down and work some clock down now and see if they can't get the last scoring of this first half.
Which would take them in the locker room on an up-tempo, double-digit lead.
50-42 with 30 seconds to go. And there's about a 3-second differential between the time clock, game clock, and the shot clock. And it does look like that's exactly what they're going to do as they're working here to get the ball into position for a good last shot, and we'll see who they'd like to take it, because they do have 2 or 3 good three-point shooters in case things are awfully tight inside. But there's a gate move inside for Sean Gibson, and he couldn't get the ball to fall.
And that may be the shot that you want, Dave. I want that shot or a wide open pitch out back to DUANE SHEARS. But I'll take Sean Gibson in that situation any day.
8 seconds left in the first half clock. Sean Gibson to the line. He will be shooting 2 this time. Foul in the act of shooting. Sean's having a great half. First free throw is up and good.
A lot of scoring for Sean. I'm running out of space on my score sheet for Sean. He's playing very well tonight.
Terrific half. He can go for a 10-point lead here and then hope that 8 good seconds of defense will take the Mastodons into the halftime.
And he's shooting for his 18th point right here.
And it's short. On the rebound, number 30. Gary Watkins takes it down. The three-pointer is in the air, and I'll be darned. Well, the fortunes of this game have been that kind of a half, Charlie, and it has been just a fantastic first half between 2 very well-matched teams.
And as I stated, again, we have the Ashland Eagles on an upswing with the three-pointer at the end going in under 10 points and with the big basket. And we have a very, very special guest right here in our midst, Dave.
Charlie, it's a pleasure for us here this evening. Hilliard Gates, you've come and seen a pretty interesting basketball game here tonight.
Well, I'm amazed by the quickness and the way these 2 teams go up and down the floor. They're playing marvelous offense. There's a lot of movement and a lot of excellent rebounding.
They're pretty well matched. They're the kinds of teams that should be up near the top of their conference, and Ashland's number 1, we're number 2, and we're hoping to see if maybe tonight we can't tighten that up a little bit.
Well, I think the fans are getting a big treat here tonight because there's a lot of movement, not too much defense, of course, because this is an offensive game, and I just think it's an entertainment thrill to see these kids play.
Well, it has been a very fast-moving game, and one of those that's hard for Charlie and I to keep up with, and you know how that goes.
That's right.
So what do you think of the Dons so far this year?
Well, this is the first time I've had a chance to see them, and I'm impressed with them. Of course, I think Andy does a great job, and I'm sure that the fans will continue to come in here, and I'm sure the following will grow. This is quite a thrill for me to see this ball game.
As a matter of fact, we're really pleased with this crowd tonight. This is a nice crowd for a bad wintry evening like it's been. And
well, David, the crowd is in the game. They're really helping these players and helping the coaching, and I think you have a good formula working here.
And there's a group of students over there that as the second half begins to unfold, they begin to get a little more active the closer it gets to the end.
We're standing in the confines of a building that may soon have your name on it.
Well, that's an absolute lifetime thrill. I am awed by that prospect. I'm grateful to everybody that has thought about it and the work they've done, and it's just a tremendous thrill for me, and I can't thank everybody here enough. It's just been a wonderful experience.
Well, the campaign is still ongoing, and we've well past the halfway point of our goal. So as the rest of the year moves on, we'll get that whole thing accomplished.
Well, we're looking forward to it, as you know, David.
Harry, thank you very much for coming up and joining us tonight, and let's hope that the second half goes as well as this first half has.
I think it's going to be an excellent ball game. A lot of quickness, and I'm awed by it, as I said. Good luck to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Charlie, we're here with the halftime score. The Eagles got that last three-pointer, and as you see the score now, 51, it should be 45 because Ashland did hit a three-pointer right near the end of the half.
Too late even for our scorekeeper to
That's right.
put it in the stats.
So we invite you now to stay tuned for the halftime festivities, and we'll join you then at the start of the second half.
How does it all work? From the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. What keeps it all going? Find out on The Mechanical Universe, a remarkable series that presents the latest in computer animation and video demonstrations. It's a fascinating introduction to the world of physics, hosted by Dr. David Goodstein of the California Institute of Technology. Discover The Mechanical Universe for yourself.
Because they just don't have the time to give. And one of the most important things you can do, however, doesn't take much time at all. Alan Bangs took a look at the Allen County Red Cross, where it doesn't even take an hour to do something very important: donate blood.
Blood, a fluid our body can't do without. If you or a loved one ever needed a blood transfusion, you would expect it to be available at the hospital. One of the ways hospitals keep up with their blood supply is from donations from the American Red Cross. Unfortunately, when some people give blood, all they can think of is this. Actually, there's nothing to giving blood. Just to prove my point, I went down to the Allen Wells chapter of the Red Cross to give a pint of blood, and I brought the college update cameras with me. You'll be able to see just how simple a procedure it all really is. After you sign in at the desk, a volunteer takes some basic information. Then it's time to answer a few medical history questions while you wait your turn to begin the process of blood donation. Before anyone can actually donate their blood, they must go through a battery of tests that include blood pressure, temperature, and a small drop of blood is taken from a painless prick of the ear. Sandra Wilcoxon, manager of the Red Cross Donor Room, explains the importance of these tests.
This is to make sure that the donor is healthy and that it's not going to be detrimental to him to donate blood. The pricking of the ear is to check the hemoglobin. That is both for the donor's safety and the recipient's safety, to make sure that the iron count is of a sufficient level.
After you answer a few more medical questions, it's time to drink a little juice and eat a cookie or two to provide you with plenty of blood sugar. Volunteers assist all along the way. They're an important cog at the Red Cross, answering phones, typing, and serving donors. Volunteer Carol Muldoon explains how she became involved with the Red Cross.
Really what interested me was that my mother and my grandmother both were Red Cross workers. So I thought when I had some time to spare that I'd come in and give some of my time to Red Cross too.
Now you're ready to jump up onto the table, get comfortable, and donate your blood. An attendant marks a vein and sterilizes your arm, then inserts a needle. The donor's only responsibility is to squeeze a piece of rubber placed in the palm of the hand so the blood flows a little faster.
I'm just snagging.
A concern that may keep some from donating blood is the scare of contracting the AIDS virus. Wilcoxon explains why people don't need to worry about this.
There's only one unit used per donor. The needles are sterile and they are disposed of after each use. They're never used more than once. It's impossible to get AIDS by donating blood. As far as the arms go, the safety, we thoroughly scrub each arm so there's no potential chance of any contamination or infection to the donor.
Once you're finished giving blood, someone helps you over to a table where you rest for a few minutes. You also drink some liquids and eat some sugary snacks to help you recover. Now, giving blood wasn't that bad. After you give blood, all the fine volunteers pamper you. They bring you juice, soda, cookies, donuts, just about anything you might want to get your strength back. This has got to be my favorite part of giving blood. For College Update, I'm Alan Bangs.
If you can give blood, please contact the Allen Wells chapter of the Red Cross at 482-1609 to set up an appointment, or drop in at the Red Cross on the corner of Parnell and Coliseum. The hours are 12 noon to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday.
Color, space, line, form. These basic elements have been used by painters, sculptors, and architects to create artworks of timeless beauty and value. The Art of the Western World television course examines many of mankind's most enduring achievements and provides you with the key to the language of art.
This is the increasingly competitive world we live in, and this is the country we want ahead of the competition. These are the people we'll be depending on to keep this country ahead of the competition. These are the colleges and universities we're relying on for the people we're depending on to keep this country ahead of the competition. So if you want America to stay #1 in the world, do something about it. Give to the college of your choice.
As an athlete, it's especially painful to watch cocaine destroy those around me. How could these heroes with so much strength and discipline fall for cocaine? They thought they could control it. That's the big lie. No one controls cocaine. So don't blame them. Learn from them. If you're using cocaine, get help.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
You were the first. Well, welcome back to the IPFW Athletic Center. Along with the excitement of the regular basketball game, the fans have certainly been entertained here at halftime, Charlie, to a couple of Pee-wee teams that gave it their all, literally.
Yeah, the game, as you stated, just about as exciting as this Great Lakes Valley Conference contest against the Dons and the Eagles.
They gave us some good-looking shots. Well, the second half is about 4.5 minutes away. And here we have had, as we expected, a very good, tight, tough, lots of up and down the court basketball, with IPFW coming out on top in the first half, even though the Ashland Eagles hit that three-pointer at the buzzer.
A very big occurrence, Dave. On one end, you had Sean Gibson missing one free throw, and Ashland getting the rebound, going down, and scoring a three-pointer at the end of the buzzer to make this only a 6-point basketball game. As you see the halftime stats, Don shooting very well from the field, 51%, 44%, so-so for Ashland. Three-pointers, just about even. 3 for 12 for Ashland, 4 for 10 for the Dons. Free throws, Don shooting extremely well. And 14 for 17, not shabby, 82%.
Absolutely. Well, it was a well-played first half with, you see, assists going to the IPFW Mastodons. And that's kind of a story of the seasons for these two teams. For some reason, Ashland doesn't have nearly the assist kind of statistics that IPFW has. Rebounds, IPFW on top.
Yeah, and that's basically that assist total is basically the Dons. They play very well together, and they're not worried about who scores the points, and they're giving the basketball up on the breaks.
And Ashland, as we noted in the first half, not uncommon for them to come down. The man on the dribble stops and puts up the long jumper. Something that we don't see a lot of, but yet it's not something that we wouldn't see ever from the Mastodons also.
Well, the Dons are a great three-point shooting team, but most of their three-pointers do evolve out of the offense, a kick into the post and a kick out to the open man, which is a great way to nail three-pointers.
Yeah, as opposed to seeing it emerge off of the fast break, the first man down fires it up.
The rest of the stats, Dave, are fairly even. 2 block shots apiece. Fouls, not really significant one way or the other. 11 for Ashland and 14 for the Dons. Steals even at 4 for Ashland, 5 for the Dons. The turnovers just about even.
And as you think back over the first half, Charlie, both teams use a lot of players. As you see, the scoring pretty well distributed.
Exactly, that balanced attack of the Ashland Screaming Eagles. 9 for Watkins, 8 for Coleman, 6 for McGuire, and 5 for Royer off the bench. The Dons, a big discrepancy there. You have Gibson with 17 points in the first half, well above his average already in the game. Vaughn at 9, Smithy at 6 off 2 3-pointers, and Rich with 5 points.
Well, the fans here are anticipating an action-packed second half, and I'm sure that's what we'll have. It was a pleasure to have Hilliard Gates with us just at the conclusion of the first half, Charlie, and as you mentioned when we were chatting with him briefly, he has graciously been a part of a campaign that the athletic program and the IPFW campus is currently conducting to endow athletic scholarships. The campaign has a pretty hefty goal, but they are just about 2/3 of the way toward that goal, with lots of work yet to be done during the course of this year and through the summer. So we would encourage all of those fans out that hear the telecast, and you may not be able to join us here at the IPFW Athletic Center, but if you enjoy this athletic program, not just basketball, but the entire program, we invite you to join in the Hilliard Gates Scholarship Campaign currently underway by IPFW.
And the Cable Access Center needs the support also, Dave.
Right. Well, the teams are huddling around their coaches at their respective benches. The young ball boys are preparing the floor for action. John Honstrider's trying one last test free throw. Maybe he likes to miss the last one so that the law of averages are in his favor on the next one.
Well, it's usually one of those superstitious things. Usually players want to take that last shot, take that last free throw, take that last layup.
And we'll see if the teams come out with their starting lineups. It would appear that that's what we have for the Ashland Eagles. Number 14, Ricardo Hill. Number 20, Bernard McGuire. Number 22, Jeffrey Little. Number 32, Brian Richetto. And number 54, Michael Young. And for the Mastodons, their original starting lineup. And if we just had some officials, we'd get this thing underway. Here they come, right on time. Alternate possession will start the ball with IPFW at the start of this second half. And that's good. I'm glad that Ashland doesn't get the first crack at it, because they had the last crack that we could have done without.
First 3 minutes of this half, Dave, will be very important for both teams to see which team gets on track early in the first half.
Dwayne Shear with the ball deep. Andre Walton. Good ball movement by the Mastodons. Skip pass over to Dwayne Shear. And a sweeping hook shot by Doug Ranke. We could stand a lot of that.
Great start.
Oh, blind pass. A little careless on the part of number 22, Jeffrey Little. And we turn it right back.
that sweeping hook shot for Ranky is probably about the best shot for him, not just because he's 6'9", because it allows him to stand up a little straighter as he usually does, much to my chagrin, and also he's allowed to keep the ball up when you catch it there and just go with that sweeping hook right from where you catch it.
And it would take a big man to stop that shot. Ricardo Hill, point guard, running the show for the Eagles out at the top. The Eagles too have good ball movement, getting the defense to slide and react. Michael Young, I don't think, will take the outside three-pointer.
Better get a shot up.
Play, guys. The buzzer went off, but the time had just elapsed. No violation.
I'm not sure if McGuire took that shot because of the clock or just his natural move.
Saw a good offensive rebound by Doug Ranky. He put it back up. It wouldn't go. Clarence Rich encouraging him over there, saying, come on, Doug, it'll be all right. But the second offensive rebound by DUANE Shearer, and he got bounced from behind by the defense.
That's a time Doug Ranky, a big, strong 6'9" player like he is, should go up and just punch that ball right back through, Dave.
And the Ashland defense punches the ball loose that time. And this time the defense from IPFW. So both defenses kind of taking control here at the beginning.
And a good start for the Dons in the fact that they have scored, and the Ashland Eagles have yet to get on track.
Right. DUANE Shearer got a chance to square up that time. Got his own rebound, follows through with a short jumper, and it wouldn't go. Good hustle by Clarence Rich. He keeps it alive. And oh boy.
Great action though, Dave.
Yep, great action, great hustle. Just unfortunate that they didn't get a score. And there comes back the three the other way. It'll happen every time, won't it?
Yes, it will. And Ricardo Hill passed up the three-pointer to a better shooter.
And right back quickly, beating the press.
Somebody got caught snoozing that time on the Ashland defense, and Clarence Rich took advantage of it.
Bodies all over the floor and no call.
Ricardo hit a three-pointer last time down the court, Dave, and faked Doug Ranky right out of his shoes.
That time he took it right to the hoop on the drive. Looks like they're going to let a lot of muscle happen on the inside here at the start of this second half. And again, there goes a three-pointer up. Ball tipped out of bounds by number 22, Jeffrey Little.
Great position by Sean Gibson that time.
Gary Watkins comes in off of the bench, and he had a very productive first half as a substitute for the Eagles. Came in and scored 9 points. But IPFW also has its number one sub in. Pat Murphy strong to the board.
Great pass by Andre Walton. The Dons not appearing to have very much trouble even in the second half against that pressure.
And again, I'm not so sure, but what there couldn't have been a charge on that call, and they won't call it. And the three goes down by the Ashland Eagles. And maybe they got a break that time. That ball bouncing around like a pinball off of players from both teams.
I'm not too sure Eric Vaughn did not commit some type of violation, but he got away with it. And as it turns out, the ball's going back to the Mastodons.
Well, it didn't look so very different from his regular ball handling skills, so wasn't that noticeable. IPFW inbound the ball. 59-53. 16 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the second half. Great Lakes Valley basketball. The number one team, Ashland Eagles, the number 2 team, IPFW Mastodons, battling it out here tonight.
Great pass that time. The only thing you didn't have is the finish by Kevin Shank.
Yep.
Going to his strength. He's a left-hander going to the left side of the glass. Should have been a little easier attempt for him.
And it's one of those things that getting the ball up high on the glass is going to give it a better shot at coming back down. But the Eagles with the ball. Ricardo Hill.
Kevin could have heard footsteps. Number 44 has pretty big footsteps to hear.
That's possible, but you can always hear the footsteps. Little quick exchange, one of those where it's hard to grab that ball. Comes too fast, too close. But IPFW will get the ball underneath the Ashland Eagle basket.
A lot of contact and no calls.
Action was called back for substitutions that had reported to the scorers table. Sean Gibson inbounds the ball to Kevin Shank. Kevin quickly down the court. Maybe too quickly. But a foul is called against Chris Royer as he tried to sneak up behind Kevin Shank.
Pretty much a break right there. That's really not what you want Kevin Shank to do. Dribble down one side of the court. A little bit out of control for him.
IPFW with the ball in our half-court offense set up. Eric Vaughn puts it up softly, gives it a chance to fall in, and darned if it didn't.
And he may have gotten away with the walk.
Fast action, fast pace. 10.
The Dons are in control at the moment.
Ricardo Hill is going down that lane every chance he gets. That time he draws the foul. We'll see whether it was a shooting foul or not.
Quick player going down the lane, but as you see on the replay here, all the lanes are clogged, so he has at the last moment try to get the ball up on the glass, and that particular time the Dons bailed him out with the foul.
We'll see it again as the ball is moved by Ashland. First free throw is good. Ricardo Hill trying for number 2. And it's good. Back to the 6-point lead that started the second half. Eric Vaughn that time.
Great play by Eric. The fake behind the back pass with the around the back dribble.
And Ashland couldn't handle the press that time. The big guys. He got lucky that time. I mean, he didn't mean anything by it, but a lot of times you don't have to mean anything by it. Slam the ball on the floor can get you a tee. Officials have kept the game fairly well under control because it's been hard played, a lot of contact. Andre Walton with the ball. Sean Gibson, this wide open short jumper, won't fall for him. And again, one of those times when it's just no room to maneuver.
May have been a little bump. The Dons may be catching a break there, and we'll take it. As we see the replay here, let's see, was there a little bump? Maybe a little bit by Pat Murphy.
Yeah, very little, and there was some acting to go along with it, so maybe that's a good no call. I bet Sean would like to have that wide open jumper again, though. And Eric Vaughn made his turnaround jumper move.
Now Mr. Vaughn asserting himself.
And an offensive foul. The shot missed by Brian Richetto. And as he followed, he pushed, I think, number 44 into the IPFW guys. Well, we've played a little over 5 minutes, Charlie, a little over 5.5, and the IPFW Mastodons have been able to stretch the lead out a bit, not to a safe margin yet, but it's been a 5 minutes that have played to their advantage.
They've definitely won the beginning of this first half, which is a very important part of the game. The first 3 or 4 minutes of each half is extremely important, the beginning and the ending. And the Dons have clearly won the first part of this second half.
Jeff Smithy into the lineup.
Got
Andre Walton.
a quick picture of Coach Andy Piazza with the sailor ship sweater on.
I think Eric lost the handle that time. He's going to try to stop, but couldn't. And for the easy layup, number 10, Jerry Coleman.
That was a big 4-point turnaround that time by the Dons.
Clarence with his three-point attempt. Sean Gibson with the inside position that time, and maybe there wasn't a lot of contact initiated by the Ashland Eagle, but Sean had the position that time, which in fact then drew the foul on Ashland.
Sean's just a heck of a basketball player, Dave. Always there, nothing flashy, just always there when you need him. Consistent, Mr. Consistency.
Multiple substitutions for the Eagles.
That time Eric got a little bit too creative on the baseline there. Not enough there probably to make the move that he made. But I've seen Eric pull rabbits out of the hat before.
Well, one of the nice things there, though, was good hustle by Pat Murphy caused the tie-up, and thus the next jump ball will be for alternate possession for IPFW.
Which could prove very important down the stretch.
Nice move by Pat Murphy, spin move and off the glass.
High off the glass. Great play by Pat Murphy that time.
You probably couldn't tell it, but I love to see those in-close shots come off the glass. That's what it's up there for.
That's right, high up there like that. And the young players need to know that.
Good hustle by the Dons that time. They were having to really battle for that defensive board. Nice pass. Nice inside shot.
And the Dons stretched this out to a 12-point lead.
Ashland calling for a timeout. Well, head coach Terry Wigand of the Ashland Eagles telling me before the ball game that they had some concerns on their way over here tonight with that nice snowy weather that they were having, but after they got about halfway, no problem. Maybe a little bit like the game now, because their trip certainly hasn't affected their play.
And there are about 12 players sitting on the other side of the bench over there that would cause problems for just about anybody.
That's right. Tune in to Channel 6 Friday evening, January 31st at 8:30 p.m. to watch the Nittany Lions from Penn State University take on the IPFW Mastodons. Catch all the action of IPFW volleyball right here on Channel 6. Well, Charlie, about 12.5 minutes left in this second half, which means we've played about 7.5 minutes in the second half. Any particular patterns that you've seen or anything particular emerge that we didn't see in the first half?
Not right now, David. The Dons have to watch for spurts. They don't want any big spurts by this Ashland, Ohio team, because if they get a big spurt ran off, they may gain some confidence and get back into this basketball game. And if it gets close enough, anything can happen. That's what that three-point ring's out there for, to create excitement in this game. So we want to keep them from within striking distance.
Ashland on the attack, setting up their half-court offense.
Because to date, Dave, I don't know of any 12-point play.
That's right. That's right. Fortunately. Ricardo Hill makes things happen.
And that's exactly what he's trying to do right now. The senior point guard trying to make something happen. That's what leadership does. You're a senior, you take control from the point guard position especially, and you try to make something happen, which as the replay shows, that's what Hill at 5'8" really shouldn't be down there, but he's the senior leader on this team trying to make it happen.
And he misses the first free throw. That's a rarity for the Eagles here tonight. But you're right, the Eagles have, both of these clubs, Charlie, are veteran ball clubs, but the Eagles actually have more seniors.
And what what makes the Dons such a great team is these seniors and juniors accept their roles. It's very hard to get juniors and seniors to accept some of the limited roles. As we see a possible goaltending play from this point, it looked like it could have been.
He's going to call the foul happening going down the lane before there was ever any shot taken.
Okay.
So that takes the heat off of their having to make any call at all on whether there was goaltending or not.
And I think as we see the replay, if we go to that point, it clearly was, actually, if it had been counted as a shot.
And that's a third foul against RICARDO Hill. Could be critical.
Very
he
critical.
Stayed in the ballgame. And he doesn't back off from the defense. He's not shy.
A clearing out foul that time on Doug Ranke that time.
Ashland inbounds the ball. RICARDO Hill got it across the line. And again, they will be calling a foul that took place as the movement was going down the lane before any shot was attempted. Doug Ranke drew the foul.
Usually you're in big trouble when your center gets his fourth foul with over 11 and a half minutes to go in the half. But with the depth of the Dons, it's not such a big problem for them.
Right, they have a lot of people to play the inside. On the other hand, when a guy's got it going, and Doug had it going pretty well tonight, playing a pretty decent ball game, you'd like to see him stay with it. And there was a little bit of everything in that particular play. Oh, well.
A lot of contact. I think the Dons got away with one there.
Yeah, and nobody's hit the deck on that clear out down at the other end of the floor, but they did on this one. Sean Gibson defending 1 against 3, and not much he could do.
No, he did just about everything he could, and the offensive player made a proper decision to pull up for the short jumper.
Eric Vaughn followed his own missed three-pointer and got the 2 points.
That's what a shooter does. The shooter knows best
offensive
where his shot's
call
come from. Against Hill, his 4th.
Key foul against RICARDO Hill. He is number 4. He says, "I'm okay, coach, I'm okay." But we'll see who wins out. And coach is saying, "I can't take a chance."
The fiery leader of the Ashland Screaming Eagles does not want to come out of this basketball game.
With just under 11 minutes to play, it's a key condition for the Eagles. Nice move by Mark Allen. And that time he made sure he put it in. Earlier in the game, he missed a couple of those.
Good-looking baseline move right there.
I was going to say, I believe I'd let 54 shoot it before some of those other guys out there at that three-point line.
That's his second one. He took one early in the game and didn't have any success.
Although I have to say the shot didn't look too bad.
No, it didn't look bad.
Nice pass underneath from Eric Vaughn to Kevin Shank. Kevin tried to get it to the hoop, but he got shoved from behind.
By a load.
And a key foul. 4th foul against number 54, Michael Young. So the second of Ashland's starters in a bit of foul trouble with exactly 10 minutes left to play in the game. Substitutions wholesale for the Ashland Eagles.
Just got another shot of Coach Andy Piazza with the Old Spice sweater on.
Kevin Shank misses the first free throw. Little follow through, Kevin. There you go. And get this second one to drop.
Bend those knees and hang in there with the follow through.
That's right. It's amazing what a difference it'll make.
Kevin's first point on the night. He's had a couple of opportunities. Yet to cash in, though.
Nice athletic move down the lane by number 20, Bernard McGuire. And Bernard tips the ball loose from Eric Vaughn, but couldn't catch up with it. Great hustle. He's not about to say this game's over.
No. As again, he was one of the top scorers in the conference last year, and just a few moments ago showed you why he is, or was.
Ball inbounds. Short jumper to Eric Vaughn. He missed it, but a rebound. Eric Allen puts it up and aggressively draws the foul. Eric getting some big offensive rebound boards for the Dons here tonight.
That was a flat jump shot. Well, if it's flat, I don't think it was a jump shot by Eric Vaughn. I guess it wasn't. I guess it could be considered a jump shot there in the replay. Great rebound by Mark Allen and the putback, attempt to put back.
Mark to the line, hits the first free throw. Second attempt coming.
There the play is again that got Allen to the free throw line.
Second one is good. Not the first time there's been some contact tonight with the no call.
Probably more contact tonight than there'll be tomorrow in the Super Bowl day.
Could be, could be. It's always interesting to me to two guys bouncing around. If they want to stop it, they ought to blow the whistle and just talk to them, because they're both guilty.
Especially all of the contact that they've let go tonight.
Yeah. Good board that time by the Mastodons. And delay double pump layup by Eric Vaughn.
Great fast break.
And they didn't get there fast enough to slow down the runaway freight train, Sean Carlton.
I think that time the Dons got caught celebrating just a little bit the nice fast break that they had, and no one covered back. You had your two guards on the fast break, so one of the big guys has to stay back and protect the basket. That time it didn't happen. But you're not used to having both guards out on the fast break, and the big guys naturally follow up the basket. And then the big guy from Ashland got behind the defense.
Yeah. With a 3-on-1 going out there, the fourth guy has a hard time realizing he doesn't need to go on down.
Yeah.
Sean Carlton. Ooh. Sean missed the free throw. Pat Murphy came up with a rebound, and Ashland knocked it out of bounds on him.
The natives are getting a little restless with all this contact and no calls, Dave.
Yeah, they want to see something be called when the bodies go flying.
Preferably against the Ashland Eagles.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Tough call to make. Tough call.
Very tough. Sean did the right thing. He had the elbow bent. If it's a bent elbow, it should not be a foul. When you have it straight out, that's when the foul is, as you see the replay. That's not a foul. That's a good play.
You got a man standing in the lane down there right now, just standing down there. 44 went down to the lane, he stayed there.
A mobile home.
They ought to make him pay rent if he stays in there that long.
And we're in the 1-and-1 right now.
1-and-1 bonus free throw coming. That last foul called on Kevin Shank, his third. He's replaced in the lineup by Dwayne Shear. Going to the line, number 20, Bernard McGuire. First free throw is good. 78-67, 8 minutes and 31 seconds left to be played here.
As you see the drive again and the foul by Kevin Shank.
Second free throw also good. And as they did in the first half, the Ashland Eagles continued to shoot very well. And that should be 2. Oh my goodness, I believe he was on the line. Sure looked like it from here.
I think he had a toenail on the line and got away with it that time, Dave.
IPFW maybe took their shot a little bit too quickly last time, but Eric decides he can take a fast 3. Pat Murphy.
A little bit hard off the board.
And one of those stretches right now where we can't get the right thing to go. It's white ball. All right. And with a little help from the outside official, they get the thing corrected.
All about 500 of them, Dave. 5 or 6 or 7, 800 officials in the
that's right.
audience.
That's right. They all helped a little bit.
The situation we just had with Eric Vaughn. Eric Vaughn plays one way. He doesn't really change his game according to the situation, which in some cases he has to do, and we saw a great example of it that time. No matter what the situation is, Eric seems to play the same way. If it comes out his way, he looks great. But in these types of situations right now, when you're dropping that lead under 10 points, it doesn't look so great.
Looks like the Ashland coach is going to take advantage of this opportunity to make a complete change and substitute for all 5 players to have as fresh a player in as he can possibly have.
And Ricardo Hill with the 4 fouls. He's saying this is 8 minutes left from down 7. I'm going for this basketball game right now. I need a big run right now.
Michael Young with 4 fouls. Back in. It's their starting lineup. Almost. Gary Watkins, number 30, is in instead of Bernard McGuire. Mastodons meet to work their half-court offense now and be patient.
Not a very good pass that time by Shears. Threw it right at the feet of the Ashland defender.
Yeah, it's a time of game where you have to make good decisions. You may make a physical mistake, but you need to make good mental decisions.
Pass almost stolen right there.
Out to the top, Andre Walton. Action inside. Nice pass from Clarence Rich to Sean Gibson. And the Mastodons needed to get off of that 78 count for where they'd been for quite a while. They needed that badly.
And they need a defensive stop right here.
Have a man underneath the basket. Now they see
he's been in the lane a long time.
Yes. Now the rent gets paid.
Big break for the Dons. As you stated, he was in there for a long time and hadn't paid any money yet, and the referee called him that time. He was wide open and should have gotten the pass. Big men, if they have position, they want the basketball.
Andre Walton with a good decision that time. He stopped at the free throw line. Nothing materialized, so he kicked it back out. Ready to set up the offense. Patiently take a look, see what's available to them. And on the pressure defense, number 22, Jeffrey Little, got a little bit too much nose to nose.
His 4th. 3rd. I thought he had 4.
Maybe they better recheck that. You're probably right, Charlie. Number 44, Sean Carlton, back into the lineup. Replacing Jeffrey Little, number 22. Jeffrey in no hurry to leave the floor. Number 32 also replaced, Brian Rashetta.
It seems, Dave, tonight that the substituting of the Ashland Eagles has not been as effective as the Dons, as the Dons substitutions have been.
I think you're right. There's been some real key moves made that have really picked up the tempo or picked up the pace or given that push that the Mastodons have needed tonight.
Yeah, they haven't quite had the right chemistry out there or the right matchups to play against the Dons substitutions at any given point.
Sean Gibson hits both free throws.
Another stellar performance by the junior
court
out
pressure.
of Plainsville. Great rebound by Pat Murphy.
Ricardo Hill stopped with the short jumper that was off the rim, and Pat Murphy really hustled to come after that rebound. Yeah, he got him. Andre for the foul.
Sean Gibson pivoted the wrong way that time, Dave. If he pivots to his left, he has an easy layup. He pivoted to the right, right into 2 defenders.
Back into the traffic, and he dished off to Andre Walton. And if Andre hadn't been driving down the lane or cutting down the lane, he might have been all right.
Going for that offensive rebounds, which of late he's doing very well,
Yes,
averaging close to 5 offensive rebounds for a 5'8" point guard is tremendous.
Ricardo Hill at the line for the 1-and-1. First one is good. It's perfect as we see 3 substitutions coming in for the Mastodons. Smithy, Ranke, and Eric Vaughn.
Those rebounds for Walton have not been over the whole season. The last 4 games, he's averaging close to 5. Still great for a point guard at 5'8".
Absolutely. Smallest man on the floor. And Ricardo Hill cashes in on his second free throw of that opportunity.
Who doesn't do too bad with his 5'8" stature either.
No, he doesn't. Good decision that time by Clarence, but I'm not so sure we were ready for the long 3-point bomb to go in, but Ashland helped us there as they mishandled the fast break.
Right now, Ashland getting up and down the floor a little better than the Dons, but that time they were too quick for their own good. They had 2 players going for the ball, and it resulted in a turnover.
Eric Vaughn quickly down the floor, and with his little hesitation move, you can never know where the guy's going or what he's going to do with it.
Well, you can know that Eric's going to do something exhilarating and exciting with the basketball.
Yeah, and he does that.
Not sure of the decision, but it'll be exciting.
Pat Murphy drew the rebound foul underneath. That will send number 44, Sean Carlton, to the line. Sean for the night. Shot the free throws very well. 3 out of 4, I believe. Sean Gibson back in the lineup. Dwayne Shears back in the lineup. Sean Carlton to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Last couple of games, we've seen some big fellas, Dave, shoot the ball very well.
Yes, we have. And Sean was a little bit too much that time.
Too much muscle behind that one. Chipped the glass on the backboard that time, though.
Second attempt coming, and it's no good also.
It's a good thing we jinxed him.
That's right. I think that's the first time tonight I've seen 2 consecutive free throws missed by the Ashland Eagles. They have done very well. We get that ball down on that right side corner, and we're beginning to have a little trouble getting it to move out of there. Let's try the other side. And Eric Vaughn saves us. And then pats it again, and why he wasn't down court to defend. And Ashland down quickly to hit the layup.
The Dons have to be careful.
Traveling called on Eric Vaughn.
Again, typical. That's typical
right.
Eric Vaughn, but you have to be aware of the situation. Great play, great fake, but you have to give that ball up to Doug Ranke under the basket. You have to be conventional instead of being cute right now. But as I stated earlier, Eric does not change his style of play according to the situation. And you have to respect that in some cases, but this time maybe he should have been more conventional.
Yeah, from beginning to end, it'll be the same. And that could become very close to being called an intentional foul because there was a clear breakaway developing.
And if it's not, Dave, as you stated, it turns out to be a great foul for Ashland because there are 2 IPFW players right underneath the basket.
Yes.
As we see the replay here, Sean Gibson being one of them, but he's jumping up and down in disgust as he sees an easy 2 points get away.
But it will be a 2-shot free throw, as everything will be from here on out. With 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the action here. Tremendous basketball game. Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball at its best. Number 2 and number 1 going at it to see who can stay up at the top. Yes, Smithy shoots a little flat on that free throw. Needs to get a little more arch on that thing and give it a chance to go in. He'll have opportunity number 2.
Usually Jeff a very good free throw shooter, but this year really just hasn't been there enough.
Number 2 coming on its way from Jeff Smithy. And Jeff drops the second one as the net is hanging on the basket, and they haven't yet corrected it and probably won't until they have a better opportunity on a dead ball. Ashland down quickly. 5 minutes left in this Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball game. Ashland pretty patient at the moment. The only opportunities they're getting are those outside. And as he drove the lane, we'll see what call it has. It's a foul, I think, probably on Eric Vaughn. The foul called on Eric Vaughn, and it will go put Bernard McGuire at the line.
Eric trying that time for the slap down against the ball. Eric very good at slapping up and getting the ball off of rebounds, but that slap down usually results in the foul just about every time.
Bernard McGuire with number 2 coming. He hits the first one. Second one gets the roll.
Crept in there.
Down to the right corner, back out to Eric Vaughn. And a foul called away from the ball.
That may be the evening for Ranky.
Interesting call. Timely call.
Let's see.
Rather than an opportunity. Nice little acting job. Nice little acting job. But there was some contact.
Not enough, I don't think, to call that type of foul. But when you're trying to get into a basketball game, as Ashland is, you'll do anything to get back into
anything
that
you
game.
can. But you have to rely on the officials to be on top of their game and give us the best they've got.
It's down to that time where we make a decision of our Dandy Don player of the game, and I'm looking at Gibson and Vaughn.
They both have played outstanding basketball games tonight. Sean really has been a stalwart there. First free throw is good by Chris Royer. And we have that lead whittled down to 7. And he hits them both. That cuts that lead to 6, as it was at the halftime. With 4 minutes and 30 seconds exactly on the clock now. IPFW. The offensive set. Plenty of time on the clock, looking to get the inside offense to work. Sean Gibson with his move inside drew the foul against number 44, Sean Carlton. And that's his 4th now, I guess, huh?
Third. Okay. Who did we think had 4 before, and it was 3rd, and that was somebody else, I guess. No matter. It's number 3 against number 44, Sean Carlton, as Sean Gibson goes to the line to shoot 2. Free throws are going to be an important part of these last minutes and 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Both teams playing so many players, Dave. It is very hard to keep up with the fouls. Sean Gibson perfect with that shot. Number 2 forthcoming. Sean has just played a well of a game in all aspects. Second one on its way, and it's good. Pressure defense. Jerry Coleman with the board. Working out front, getting things set up for the Ashland Eagles. 4 minutes to play. Johnson to stay on Royer. He's a good outside shooter. And the inside play is getting to the point where there's a lot of shoving going on. Oh, and a wide open layup was missed by Jerry Coleman. And in his frustration, he drew the foul or committed the foul on Eric Vaughn, who had rebound
great rebound position, as he should have had that time.
And you see something that happens very often when a player misses an easy shot, a shot that they clearly should have made. They will commit the foul in their frustrations and compound the mistake that they have already made.
Sending Eric Vaughn to the line. Eric, one of our better free throw shooters. First one is good. Big free throw. Putting that ball back up. If he can get this one, it puts it back to a 10-point lead with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left as the clock begins to be a factor.
And Eric's been key tonight. He and Sean Gibson are running neck and neck for my Danny Don. It may be the time that we get both players down there and talk.
That's right. We might have twins tonight.
Great
oh my
athletic.
goodness. Yeah, it's
great athletic play by Little that time.
Absolutely. The first good defensive move had kept a good shot from going in. It's one of those times again when good defense was followed with a bounce that just didn't go their way.
And Little has not been much of a factor. As good an athlete as he is, has been fairly quiet in this game tonight. But as you see right there, great athletic skills.
And he goes to the line to attempt a three-point conversion, and it's in and out, no good. And there's a line violation against someone. A lane violation against, oh my gosh, against the ball boys.
Against the ball boys?
But they're far enough out of the action that that can't count. You have, it's 12 feet back. They don't have to be any farther back than 6.
And Coach Piazza is livid and upset with the ball boys.
Oh, come on. And a technical foul. Unfortunate, and hopefully this is not the kind of thing that will have a drastic outcome, influence on the outcome of the ball game.
It kills momentum, stops the game, and is not very good home cooking by any stretch of the imagination.
That's right. So the first free throw that he was given a second chance on completes the three-point play. Now there will be 2 free throws for a technical foul
and
called
plus
on
the
the
ball
IPFW
out of bounds.
minutes. And the ball. You're right.
A chance for a 6-point play, 7 if they convert these 2 free throws and get a 3-point play in this next possession.
Well, it's time for the Mastodons to put it all behind them and get their heads together and play the toughest 3 minutes and 33 seconds that they have played all night, because things have very suddenly tightened up with the Ashland Eagles getting the ball at midcourt and trailing 5 points, 89-85.
You have a lot of savvy and cool heads out there, and Dave, you have 2 seniors and 3 juniors on the court for the Dons, so maybe the cooler heads and the savvy and experience will prevail.
And I hope that we have some very veteran officials out there that won't Sean Gibson very alertly calls timeout.
And we have a 3-point game, Dave. And we'll be right back for more GLVC action right after these brief messages.
Hi, I'm Dave Hilbert, IPFW Sports Information Director. Tune in every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to IPFW Coach's Corner, where we'll visit with both the IPFW men's and women's basketball coaches. We'll show game highlights, talk about upcoming games, and we'll occasionally visit with players.
Well, you see Coach Andy Piazza and the IPFW Mastodons regrouping, getting their thoughts together, getting their plans prepared, Charlie, for these very critical 3 minutes and 17 seconds that remain in this basketball game.
Coach Piazza, Dave, clearly livid through the blue sweater. I don't know. We've seen a lot of strange calls tonight, and I'm sure there will be question down in the referee commissioner's office of some of the calls that we've seen tonight. I don't know what that free throw situation was. I'd love to see it, but it's resulted in a 6-point turnaround.
Yes, it certainly has.
Actually, 8 points. 6 points that the Ashland Eagles got, and the 2 points that the Dons did not even have a chance to get.
Right. The ball, oh my goodness, oh my gosh.
Right now, Dave, the Dons are falling apart, and they have to find their composure. Some of those seniors out there have to take control.
That ball hit DUANE Shear in the nose, and he lost track of it, and out of bounds it went. The Mastodons very definitely must play tough. Now we'll see who gets the call. And number 22, Jeffrey Little, is called for a foul. Must have been an illegal pick.
I think that was a give back, Jay.
It could be. And I hope it puts Sean Gibson on the line, or Eric Vaughn. I'm not sure who it will be. Whoever it is needs to step up. They got to knock these down, Charlie.
Oh, not very much contact at all. It has to be Gibson. That's where what little contact there was on that play. That's who it was with.
Sean stepping to the line, and as we have said earlier, everything now will be 2 shots at the free throw line because both teams are past the limit of 10 fouls for the 1-and-1. Sean Gibson bangs home a big free throw and prepares for number 2 as Clarence Rich is getting ready to return to the lineup. Sean's second free throw, perfect. 2 big points, Charlie. 2 big points for the Mastodons.
25 points for Sean, and big points they were.
And we probably just added a great deal of defense to our lineup with Clarence Rich coming in. Andre Walton providing the pressure on Jerry Coleman in the backcourt. A fiery 3-pointer put up there. Probably not a good decision, but we'll take it. And there we get one from this end, and it goes. What can you say? You mentioned it earlier in the game. He's consistent. He'll play it that way from beginning to end. And now his defense on an attempted steal causes a turnover. All of a sudden, the Mastodons have that fire ignited. So IPFW will inbound the ball at midcourt. 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining.
We've just been cleared up on those strange calls, Dave. It was the ball boys being on the court, which resulted in an extra shot on the missed free throw by the Ashland Eagles. And then the technical was against Coach Dick Dominion for protesting the first technical.
And Eric Vaughn took the shot. Clarence Rich and Andre Walton combined on a terrific steal. Just a terrific steal to get that ball back, and all of a sudden, we're back to 10 points. With a foul call with Pat Murphy. It's going to take us a long time to complete these last 2 minutes and 7 seconds. But if we can just see to it that 10 points is enough to see us home.
Exactly. Again, I haven't seen a 10-point play yet, although we just saw a 6-pointer.
And the first free throw that time by Jeffrey Little is missed, and there is no reprieve because the cameraman is far enough back this time that he'll not give him a reshot.
And you see the foul in there, and he does not get 2 more shots off the replay, guys.
Jeffrey Little misses the second, but a rebound inside. And the officials making a big deal out of it's going to be a 2-shot foul, but it doesn't really matter, buddy. He doesn't have to be shooting. Everything's 2 from here on out. So this time we'll have number 24, Chris Royer, stepping to the line.
Eric Vaughn has 4 fouls, Dave, and all 4 of them are of the reaching variety.
Yeah. Well, that was one of those quickies that they attempted to get the ball loose. As the first free throw was in by Chris Royer, so was the second. So he hit them both, cut the lead back to 8. IPFW quickly across the court.
better watch the lane. Get out of there, Clarence.
Too bad he couldn't have handled that because he had the easy 2 going up there. But that's the way it goes. We've got the ball. We're getting some clock out of this.
Eric put some steam on some of his passes, and there's a little hot cooking on that one.
And at this point in time, the clock is as much a factor for us as is scoring again.
6th man. And with the crowd, we got 7 against 5.
And we've got a 96-88 count on the. And you get a minimum 5 seconds on the shot clock. So the ball was tipped out of bounds with 3 seconds to go, but in that case where the defense kicks it out, you get a minimum of 5 seconds on the clock.
Now the discrepancy here
now
is
let's see what they count.
A shot.
It has to be a shot.
But I think the rule has changed. It has to hit the rim.
Has to hit the draw iron?
Yes, it has to draw iron. The shot was off, but it did not draw iron.
And they haven't said whether the shot counts or not. But now they're inbounding the ball. And it didn't. Oh my gosh. All right. Not a play that needs to be made. And where will the foul be called this time?
Eric Vaughn has the basketball underneath the basket.
59 seconds left in this action-packed game.
Eric knows.
Foul called on Andre Walton.
Eric knows he missed an easy 2. Great block there.
Yeah.
Eric missed an easy bunny right there. He knows it.
And this game is a long way from being over because 2 free throws here and 2 3-point shots, and bingo.
Exactly. And at the hectic pace of this game, that's not unquestionable.
And that's an interesting call, though, Charlie, underneath the basket there with that many arms flailing and the ball loose. He picked out a white shirt to call it on. Not saying he's wrong, but it would have been nice to have had something out of that possession. Bernard McGuire hits the first free throw, attempts the second, and it's good. So we have now a 96-90 count. IPFW in the lead. 59 ticks of the clock left.
Great game, as we promised Dave at the outset.
Yes, it's without a doubt. And I can't think of anybody I'd rather have at the line. Eric Vaughn will go to the line to shoot 2. Three ticks of the clock is all we got off of that one.
But at least we have a chance for something positive. Only 3 ticks,
right.
But we have a chance for 2 points.
2 points will be worth it. Short on the first one, but nice bounce, nice roll.
And that's what happens. If you're a 90% shooter, you get those kinds of rolls.
It's one of those where you say never a doubt, isn't it? Second one in the air and much less questionable. Falls through the net very quickly. Let it go, let it go. All right. The Eagles missed the 3-point attempt. Vaughn gets the ball on the, chasing the ball down on the rebound. And now Andre Walton will have a chance to go to the line for 2.
Now you like to think that the Dons have it in control, but there's still 40 ticks and a lot of things can happen, as we've seen just in this basketball game here tonight.
Well, I think we mentioned back when it was about 2 minutes and 17 seconds that it was a time that the Mastodons had to take a check of their mental capacity to be able to get ready and to face whatever happened, because at that time there were going to be some free throws taking place. Things really got tight, but they got themselves ready to do the job.
They did. I think they called it fortitude, intestinal fortitude, Dave.
And Andre Walton drops 2 free throws there. We'll let Ricardo Hill on the drive. So the clock now reads 34 seconds of action-packed Great Lakes Valley basketball yet to go. with a count of IPFW leading 100-92. Here's a schedule for our Channel 6 sports tape replays. Tune in to Channel 6 every Sunday evening to see tape replays of our live sports productions. January 26th, men's basketball will be played for you. It'll show you Lewis University versus IPFW. February 2nd, men's basketball, Kentucky Wesleyan University versus IPFW. February 9, women's basketball, Bellarmine College. February 16th, men's basketball, Bellarmine College. February 23, women's basketball, Kentucky State University. March 1, men's basketball, Kentucky State University. March 8, men's basketball, St. Francis College, crosstown rival here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Well, Charlie, we're ready for the last 34 seconds. What do you think?
Well, I think we need to get the ball inbounds and run a few seconds off the clock, let them chase us before they actually catch us and foul us, and that'll make the situation a little better.
And there we go with the old double cross outside, get the ball inbounds, Andre Walton. And Andre is fouled again, this time by number 22, Jeffrey Little.
That's a favorite play of Coach Piazza. I believe he used that same play against Ashland in that big game last year.
That's right, and if I remember right on that one, they got a long pass for
Very
a layup.
Successful.
Fifth foul for number 22, Jeffrey Little. Back into the lineup, number 44, Sean Carlton. Not quite as much agility and speed, but considerably more bulk on the boards. Andre Walton stepping to the line to shoot two. First one is up, and it's a little hard off of the back of the rim. Andre will have try number two. He's hit 2 out of his last 3 attempts. He's shooting now for 3 out of 4.
I dare not to, Dave, but I think it's safe to name our Dandy Don players of the game. Sean Gibson and Eric Vaughn have played tremendous basketball games.
I think you got a couple of winners there. And on that 3-point attempt on the field goal, the Ashland Eagles were a little aggressive underneath, and a foul is going to be called. Number 44, Sean Carlton, finally has that elusive number 4 foul. And going to the line this time, I think, will be either Sean Gibson or Eric Vaughn. Looks like maybe Sean Gibson.
That was Sean finding himself in that all too familiar place for him, the IPFW canvas.
Sean to the line to shoot 2.
Shooting for 26 and